Well, I'm not reading that on camera. I'm not even monetized, but I might get demonetized. Anyway. You're probably aware that I have received so many gifts from subscribers lately. I have only bought 2 palettes in 2025, but so far I think my collection has grown by about 20. It has been just an inundation of blessings, and I feel so loved and so appreciated and so grateful. One of the many things that a subscriber sent me was a Pat McGrath palette, and this one really took me by surprise. This is the Mothership X Moonlit Seduction, and a subscriber specifically asked that I use this one on camera, so that's what I'm going to do today. This is not my first time using the palette. This is actually the 3rd or 4th time I've used it previously, and this is just the first time filming with it. When I mentioned in my little, hey guys, look what came in video that I most recently posted, I talked about the Pat McGrath formula. It's luxury eyeshadow. The retail cost is, I believe, $128. It's made in Italy. It's a beautiful formula, beautiful packaging, really, really high quality. Inside looks like this. If you're unfamiliar, this is just a heavy black lacquer packaging, and the palette inside looks like this. So when I talked about this palette and what I knew of Pat McGrath, which is limited, based on just seeing other people talk about her and her formula and whatnot. She has a formula called Astral Blitz, and I thought that this was an Astral Blitz shade, but then one of my subscribers or viewers mentioned in a comment that it wasn't an Astral Blitz shade, so I believe them because I don't know. And there is this little card that tells me what these shades are. That one is called VR. Well, I'm not reading that on camera. I'm not even monetized, but I might get demonetized. Anyway, I assumed that it was because that one's so different from the other textures in the palette and also the most striking. 2 of the shades have the word astral in them. You've got Astral Gold Lust and Astral Lilac Aura. So they would be these 2 here. But I don't know if that's the same as the Astral Blitz special formula. I don't know. I thought it was this one, and apparently I was wrong, and that's okay. So I was talking to my subscriber on Instagram. She had messaged me and talked about she wanted to send me some palettes. We went over a couple of palettes that she was decluttering, and there were 1 or 2 that I said, oh, I don't think I really get much use out of that. 1 or 2 I said definitely would get some use out of that. In fact, almost bought it myself. And then in the box, she sent me some surprises as well. But anyway, she mentioned this palette, and I told her, you should really try to sell it because I know that these are expensive. They're pricey, and I didn't know for sure if I would like it. It was a new brand to me. I figured it would be fine, but I also don't feel that this is the most unique color story. I think that I have all of these colors basically in other palettes in my collection, bigger palettes, palettes from indie brands, and while these shades in particular are so gorgeous, I'm not sure that they're much more gorgeous than stuff I already own. So I might do a little bit of swatching at some point before I decide what I want to do with this palette. But the point is, I told her to try to sell it because I'm sure she could get some reasonable money for it and, you know, recompense some of her outlay. And she said she just didn't care to put the time into that, and she wanted to send it to me. I could give it a try, and if I don't want it, then I'm welcome to sell it. So I just want to put that out there. I only accept, I always feel bad. Like, I feel like people might think I'm taking advantage, and I hope that's not the case, and I hope that's not the impression in reality. Maybe it's just in my own head or how it could be perceived. When people ask me if they can send me some stuff, many times I have simply said no thank you, because it's not something I think I would use, or it's not a brand that I really care for anymore, or I can see myself getting rid of it pretty soon. Like, oh, it would be fun to play once or twice, but I don't think I would keep it. Like, I don't think it would bring a lot of value to my collection, and I don't want people to be putting out money to send me items that I don't think I will really enjoy. And also, more than that, it's the money outlay as far as somebody sending me something, but it's also they spent their money on that item, and I would like them, if they're interested in going to Poshmark or Mercari or Facebook and just trying to list it, just to get some money back for it, because then at least they've regained a little bit of what they put out for it, rather than spending even more money to ship it to me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always so grateful when people do bless me with these things. I just hope it never comes across that I'm just sitting here, you know, racking in the free stuff that other people have paid for and then sent to me as well. I don't want to feel icky about it, and I don't. But I have to just say that now and then. And I also make sure that people know if I decide that what I do receive is not quite for me, it's okay if I pass it on in a way that I see fit. So just covering all the bases, I hope. I've already primed my eyes with the Glamlight Icing Primer. I'm going to get to the end of the video and tell you what else I'm wearing today, but let's just dive into this beautiful palette because it is really beautiful. I'll put in the screen here a video of the first time I used this palette. I wanted something that was elegant and classy and not too over the top. At the same time that I did this look, I also used the same palette to put eyeshadow on my daughter. So technically I used it those 2 times, and now I think this is the 3rd. I'm not entirely sure what I used in that video. I think I didn't use this shade because I wanted it to be a little bit more toned down. I think I probably used that one and this one. That's my guess. I really don't recall. I can't be more informative than that, I'm sorry. But I think today I want to try to do something a little bit smokier because I know I didn't go smoky that time. So I'm expecting to dive into this one, maybe softly blend it out with that. But that one's slightly lighter, so as far as a blending out shade, that one might be better. And then I think I'll probably put this on a lot of my lid and just kind of go smoky, and then something as an inner corner highlight. My lighting's probably not very good right now. It's pretty overcast today and I'm sitting in front of just a window. My ring light died and I haven't been able to replace it yet. So this is what we've got. Hopefully it's not too dark. We'll see. You know, you can only control so much. Anyway, let's talk about these shadows because they are really lovely. I fully expected them to be lovely. In fact, I would be seriously disappointed if I went into a palette of this price point and wasn't very pleased with the product. But these are Italian made. I believe all of the motherships from Pat McGrath are made in Italy. I don't know if that's the case for all of her palettes because she's got like the XLs and then she's got the littler ones like the Bridgerton collection. I don't know if they've all been made in Italy, but the box for this one says yes. The other palettes I have which are made in Italy are the What's Up Beauty, and they're beautiful. And I don't know much about manufacturing of eyeshadow. I really don't. Now I'll take this warmer of the 2 tones, this one up here, go into it lightly, and then I'm gonna like kick off my brush a little bit and just really softly work it into the brown and then buff it away. And I also have a napkin on my lap, so I've laid down some color and now I'm softening. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying I don't know much about the production of eyeshadows. I have heard some things from brand owners. You know, I watch Angelica Nyqvist most of the time, and I've heard her talking about formulation, and she had a lot of experience in the industry even before she started her own brand of Singe Beauty. I've also heard some owners talk in interviews, and I've heard a little bit about it, but not much. I don't know what or how the Italian formulas vary. Is it the formula itself? Is it the process? I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but it seems that eyeshadows made in Italy are really, really good. All right, so that blended out nicely. I have a little bit of a spot here, but my crease is deepening there, and sometimes I need a smaller brush to kind of poke into that gap, into that space to fill it in a little bit. But these shadows are blending beautifully. I wish they were a lighter matte. I really, really wish that there were a lighter matte. I would replace one of these shimmers that are kind of similar. Like, these 2 are sort of similar. This one's a bit pinker, and this one's a bit neutral or a gray base, maybe. And this one here is slightly darker, but again, more pink. I would replace one of those shimmers. This shimmer is not very exciting to me. Maybe I'd replace this shimmer with a lighter matte. Something that was truly light. You could have, like, light-leaning mid, but these are all 3 mid-leaning dark. And that just makes it hard if you want to blend into your skin, especially if you're someone pale like me. All right, that is lovely. I do want to carry the depth a little bit further, I think, and onto the lid space as well, because I'm going a bit smokier than before. I'm not going to bring that darkness all the way in. I don't want it to touch the bridge of my nose. I don't want to close off my face like that. And that goes for the shimmer as well. When I lay the shimmer down, I'll be using that really fun super metallic one that I thought was Astro Blitz. I'll be using that today, but I'm not going to bring it all the way into my inner corner. I don't want to shut things down quite that much. I just want to keep it pretty dramatic, and then again, lightness. All right, let's take this beautiful shade. Looks like this. I'm going to start it in the center of my lid. Yeah, I don't think I used this one before. think I wanted my look that night to be softer, a little bit more elegant, still striking and beautiful, but not quite as, you know, reflective. But that's really lovely. Now what should I do for an inner corner? I'm gonna swatch these 4 lighter shades. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not gonna swatch this one. This one doesn't excite me at all. That one's really beautiful and might make a great inner corner with the more neutral tone of my shirt. Oh, all right, I'll just swatch the 5 of them, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, not this one. This one right here is more grainy, more lightweight, and has like a pinky purple shift, so I'm not going to use that one at all. So I'll clean off that finger and go into this one. Okay, that is going to clash with this main lid shade I laid down, so that's a no. This one is just too similar to what I've already got going on, not really a highlight, so that's a no. This one is cool toned. This one is a little bit more like a purpley champagne. I kind of like this one. Maybe I'll just use both. That would be that one and that one. Right? Yeah, okay. So here's my plan for the inner corner. I want to do a bright highlight so that it really stands out. So I'm going to do this one first. Here. I haven't done anything on my lower lash line yet. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Let me do my lower lash line first. I'm just gonna grab a small brush and take that. I'll take the second matte I used, the more warm toned one. I'm just gonna brush it on here. And now I'm taking an angled brush into the darker brown that I've been using. This is like an eyebrow brush. I'm just gonna use this to smush into my lashes a little bit. Just deepen as close to the lashes as I can. Yeah, that's smoky and nice. Okay, so now that I've got this one laid down in my inner corner, I'm gonna tap into this one here. Again, just a little bit. And pop it right on top. So I have the brightening effect, and then I have a little spot of additional color and sparkle on top. And that is lovely. Should I do an inner corner highlight? I mean, a brow bone highlight? I think I won't, because I've got a face highlighter and I've got that highlight. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera and do the other side, and I'll be right back to close out today's video. I cannot deny this is super pretty, like really, really pretty. And what I will say, and I remember saying this when I was using the palette for the first time, and I remember saying it to a friend over Marco Polo, the mattes from Pat McGrath, the ones I've used, they absolutely just melt into the skin. And I think that's one of the biggest differences between like really high quality eyeshadow and lesser quality. Melt is the word that's coming to my mind. Like, you use them and they just soften themselves out so that they kind of become one with your skin, and there's this beautiful soft gradient. I think that's what I'm getting from this palette. I mean, don't get me wrong, the shimmers are just gorgeous. I think that the palette, I pull it up, I think the palette is beautiful, and the final looks very, very, very pretty. I mean, this is so pretty and high quality and lovely and a pleasure to work with. I didn't have any problems with any of the shadows. As I said, I think it's more the depth of my crease and like my fold here that made it look like it was patchy for just a second, but all I needed to do was concentrate that shadow in that spot, and it was dealt with. The blending was super easy. I wish that there were a lighter matte so that we could blend out any of these three here. I think that this shade is pretty but not very exciting, and this shade pretty but a little bit grainier than I was expecting. And this shade, again, this actually made a good inner corner highlight, because this one is not as impactful as the others. I mean, you saw me use it the inner third or so of my lid space down to the inner corner. It was a good, like a traditional shimmer, not a shimmer that's really striking, not a matte either, not a pearlescent kind of thing. It was just more of a traditional shimmer. So it worked well as an inner corner highlight because it was a little bit more downplayed, you know, a little bit less intense than everything else that's going on. And so not only did it give contrast in terms of finish, but it also gave the brightness that I wanted. And then I put something on top, and I think that the final look is really, really pretty. Let me tell you what I did to finish off. In my waterline, I used a beautiful chocolatey brown. This is from LA Girl. It's the Glide Gel Liner. These are really nice. These are soft, very creamy, and I've only used one, like that one color, but that one is really nice and just goes on really smoothly. I like that better than all of the ColourPop ones that I've had for years. I have mascara on. I'm wearing the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lip Oil in the shade Jam Session. I've been wearing that the entire video. For a highlighter also and blush that I've been wearing the whole video, I have Kaleidos Star Surfer, which looks like this. And I have the Milani Luminoso. No, not Luminoso. Yeah, Luminoso. Oh, I was thinking Dolce Pink. I gave Dolce Pink to my mom, so I only have the Milani Luminoso, which is my favorite blush. I love a peach blush. I think that it gives my face. I think that it gives my face some youthfulness and some brightness instead of making it look like I had just done a workout with pink. Anyway, all of that is done. I totally forgot about my palette pull-in, which was like a mid-tone. My palette pull-in is Sorcerer's Smoke. I'm on this shade now, so it's a beautiful color, and I knew that it would incorporate just fine into today's look, and then I promptly forgot to use it. So that's okay. That's okay. I think today's look is gorgeous. I would love to hear your thoughts, of course. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the look, about the video, about Pat McGrath. Do you have anything from her? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you find that you don't use it as much? And also, I'm really curious about the quality differences, if there are any, between the motherships and all of her other palettes. Like, are they made in Italy? Have you noticed a big difference in quality between like maybe the Bridgerton collection or the XLs and the motherships? To the subscriber who requested this video, I hope you have enjoyed this. And yes, I can understand the draw of the Pat McGrath palettes because the quality is really unquestionable. I mean, it's so good. I had no problems, and the look is beautiful. I am just to the point now where I'm asking myself, is this better than what I can get from other brands? Like, I'm specifically thinking these shimmers remind me of what I have in my What's Up Beauty. And of course, to know for sure, I'd have to do direct comparisons and swatching. But I feel like this is the kind of look I could get from Dragon Eye, even with the mattes, like the more mid-tone leaning purpley, browny kinds of tones, and then really striking shimmers. I'm not sure. I personally wouldn't spend $128 for any eyeshadow palette. I am a thrift store gal. I grew up going to the thrift stores. We used to not have enough money to buy toothpaste, so we would use baking soda. Like, it is deeply ingrained in my psyche to find the best possible deal I can for things. And it's not so much a matter of cheaping out. It's really a matter of just, you know, bargain hunting. Because if I only have $30 to spend on something, then I want to find the best thing I can for that $30 price point. So I'm not going to spend $128 for an eyeshadow palette. I think it's smart to wait for a good sale or a great coupon or something, or wait till you have points at a store. Apply those points to something that's much like a higher ticket item, a much more expensive product. The quality is very, very nice. Anyway, I feel like I was a little bit rambly today. I do apologize. I hope you enjoyed the video nonetheless. Thank you so much for being here and for giving me a piece of your day. Perhaps you'll consider liking and subscribing if you want to. If you want to see more videos like this, check my description box for some playlists and video suggestions and answered questions. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.